right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Thursday when we spotlight issues as regards the polity. I'm not alone. I'm with Invicta talking about Ango Bally, and we do have a guest today, and we're very glad to have him. But before then, Ango, good evening.
Good evening, Jackie. Good evening, the listener. Today is another Thursday to spot on what is going on in the country, giving updates in the polity, particularly as we inch closer to 2027. Jackie, I will give updates.
Indeed. And it's no longer a secret that there's hardly any party that is worth being called, I beg your pardon, opposition in Nigeria today that is not struggling with one thing or the other. And for those who follow our programs religiously, you know that on Spot On for a while we've been giving a platform to all these political parties to come and tell us what is really going on. Why do we seem to have, should I call it a noose, tightening around the necks of all opposition parties? And today, it's no different in that regard. But today, we're glad to have with us Dr. BEGE KATUKA AYUBA. Dr. BEGE KATUKA AYUBA is the Kaduna State ADC Chairman elect. Good evening, Doctor, and thank you for having time to be here. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Jackie, the Adebija, and Ango Bally.
Thank you so much.
To all listeners out
Former Governor Malam Nasser Ahmed El Rufai on special projects, amongst other positions. So we're talking about a seasoned politician who's been in appointive and elective positions. So once again, Doctor, we're glad to have you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and the pleasure is mine.
All right. So you were once of the APC. They say when you want to climb a tree, you start from the roots.
Definitely.
So we're going to start from the APC because that is...
Yeah, before we start with the APC, we'll start with the updates.
The updates, yes. Indeed, that you're very right.
Yes.
So before we come to you, Doc, let's Ango give us his updates quickly.
Yes,
and
Jackie,
then
you are aware that
to you.
there has been this back and forth about a fake agency or a phantom agency, you know, which was allegedly run by a DG in the person of Prince Adeyemi. Now he has been in the hiding, but and in fact he has been granting interviews. But yesterday, yes, he was arrested by the police, and now he's in the police net. Now, today, Femi Gbajabiamila, the chief of staff to President Bola Tinubu, whom the allegation is at his neck, that he allegedly demanded, that Femi Gbajabiamila allegedly demanded 48% from a 27.3 billion naira take-off grant of the fake agency. So the person that the money was set allegedly part of the 400 and something million given paid through, he died in some circumstances like that. So the man is the one to give testimony and whatever. So today, Chief Femi Gbajabiamila slammed a 15 billion naira damages suit against him, and of course he's asking him to give apology in not less than 5 national dailies to that effect. Again, the Court of Appeal today validated INE's guideline for the 2027 general election. You recall that following the release of the Electoral Act, or they shown that the review is okay. Again, day 4 yesterday, I think so, the former the Court of Appeal granted final forfeiture of 48 properties worth 212 billion by the former Attorney General and Minister of Justice, talking about Abubakar Malemi, and who is also the current governorship candidate of ADC. We have the ADC chairman elect in the studio. He will explain further than that, further to that. So the Court of Appeal granted final forfeiture. Some said this money that we are, commandeered to be used to purchase the election in 2027. allegedly, I'm saying so.
Mhm.
So, however it is, the chairman of the ADC will give us explanation to that if it is within his purview. Then, Jackie, there has been this sudden news about a nurse, talking about nurse Mary Habila from Kaduna State, who was said to be a physiotherapist from the, I think, David Umwahi University of Health, something like that. Yes, that she was allegedly seconded to the Ministry of Works and working in the home of Senator David Umwahi, the Minister of Works. She allegedly died in some circumstances, and of course, she was found, according to news, her dead body was found naked. Now, the issues have been going on, and the parent talking about Habila, we heard that he said the body should be sent, he should be allowed access to, or to have the body, so that they will give her befitting burial, that he does not want any autopsy. But there have been serious concern. Civil society organizations, even SOCAP, who they talk about it, Southern Canal Lawyers Forum, they said no, we'll not allow this. And of course, Omoyole Shore of Sahara Reporters, he had been up and doing in giving necessary information. I just got this information now by Sahara Reporters that the Nigerian Society of Physiotherapy has something a bit okay. Okay, yes. The Nigerian Society of Physiotherapy has said that the name of Mary Habila, the young woman, of course, who died in the residence of Omwahi, does
David.
not appear in the database of the registered physiotherapists, contrary to claims by the minister team that she was a physiotherapist on secondment to the Federal Ministry of Works. This is the current situation. The members of the society, Southern Canal Lawyers Forum and others, have intervened. They said this issue of the parent that they don't want any autopsy, it should be set aside. This is about the public. It's not even about the parent. So it's about the public. So initially the body is said to they have slated for burial on Friday, but that had been cancelled. So we await further updates.
Okay.
Jackie, this is the current update I have.
Well, thank you so much, Ango. Indeed, you've taken us round quickly, and at least we're better off for it right now. Let's come back to our guest who has waited patiently for us through our updates. Once again, Dr. BEGE, it's great to have you in the studio. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you very much.
All right, so like I already gave you a heads up, let's start from the APC. You were a member of the APC.
Definitely.
Talking about the last administration, you were a member, and a strong one at that. But today we find you in the ADC, and certainly the APC is not dead, it's still very much alive.
Sure.
I would like to ask about what informed the change in, should I call it allegiance or loyalty?
Whichever one
And
you
Jackie,
choose.
let me give a background information about Dr. BEGE, of his staunch member of the APC before moving to the ADC. In fact, I'm very much in the picture. That's when we were so close that they started this democratic emancipation movement, DEM, and he was the chairman or the secretary?
Sure, the youth leader of the Democratic Emancipation Movement.
Yes, that association, along with others, led to the formation of APC. So you can continue from there.
All right. So we're not looking at just a former staunch member,
Yes.
but a founding
Yes.
member of the APC.
Definitely.
But today you are with the ADC.
Sure.
Talk us through what informed your change.
Thank you very much for this a very important background that you just said in, and I'm happy that your colleague has just give you a hint about how the struggle all started. And for a better word to give me, maybe you call me a Democrat, because some of us believe that for democracy to thrive, there must be various platforms through which candidate will emerge, and for the electorate to have choices that they can make in the long run at the general polls and what have you. And maybe that is why some of us would always identify with the right process that will bring about this proliferation of different political platforms. So the story of the APC, just as you have said, I think and you have captured it right. Not only the foundation member, but I also serve as the pioneer PRO of the APC, which means at that time we are engaged on issue-based and giving reason, advancing reason on why the electorate should see the need for a change. And that is what prompted the decision. And at that time in 2013, I can remember vividly, on the 13th of June in 2013, when we all come together under this umbrella called the Conference of Opposition Parties. And that's why I always say to who cares to listen that even the APC struggle started in southern Kaduna, and this date that I mentioned, when it brought all opposition figures, including the representation of the current president today, led by the late Kalabzagi,
Yes.
who actually initiated the whole idea. And the likes of Buhari for the first time was going to attend
A meeting in Southern Kaduna.
Kaduna. And to his greatest surprise, he was shocked. He said, hey, the story I've been hearing that no single individual in the whole of Southern Kaduna likes me. And now look at all the people that have been mobilized in my support and what have you. So that's what prompted the idea. That's what brought about the push for the emergence of the APC. And by the grace of God, putting all hands on deck, we're able to bring on board the APC. Knowing fully that Malan Nasir El-Rufai was a key player not only in Kaduna State but then also the national level at that time. So that's how APC came on board. But the story of the APC then was not as it is with the ADC now. Why? Maybe because we have a friendly government, a government that was not desperate in holding to power, and a government that respect the virtues of democracy, the ideals of democracy.
We're talking about Goodluck Jonathan
maybe,
right now.
And maybe the Goodluck Jonathan. So there weren't any challenges. He was just allowing the process, opposition to strive, so that the people in the long run will make choice or whatever they think would be the best government that will come on board to serve them. And that's why we never had any challenges. We had a smooth run. And in the long run, APC emerged. And now we came with this idea, believing that having the caliber of person as a presidential candidate, then person of General Muhammadu Buhari, do I call him President Muhammadu Buhari, since at that time he has transformed from general to a democratic elected president.
Right.
So we still believe in him because he's someone that actually came. He has a very clean heart and intention for the good of Nigerians. But that is not enough to give good leadership, because in leadership position, you have a lot of idiots, whatever you can call them, surrounding the corridor of power. And so once you are not in charge, once you do, no matter what good your intentions are, if you do not take charge, they will definitely overwhelm you and destroy whatever it is has to do with the governance. So in the long run, he tried as much as possible, and I give it to President Muhammadu Buhari, because during this time, even the opposition strife, he wasn't in any way involved with the affairs of the opposition. Not even the APC itself, he was a kind of neutral to whatever decision that the party was going to take, or whatever it is that they feel is best for the interest of the party and what have you. So he wasn't interfering with the internal affairs of parties and things like that. So at that point in time, it was thriving, and we thought that everything was going to work as it was. But lo and behold, a man who we tag, because I was at the forefront of the Tinubu Shetima ticket, even to the detriment of whatever it is, to my own disadvantage, especially when the Muslim thing came. There was a revolt from the Middle Belt and also the Southern Kaduna in particular. But given the antecedent and the track record of His Excellency, that's our current President Tinubu, and now what has transpired during his leadership in Lagos, we thought this was somebody who has the background, who has the experience, the technical know-how, do I put it in that way, that when coming on board, he will be able to replicate or to ensure that what he has done for the Lagos state government is going to make sure that it happens with the Nigerian as the federal government, and everybody will benefit and what have you. But here, suddenly, not even up to a year in office, we realize that this is somebody that was more concerned about the politics and governance. After the politicking of a thing, when candidates are being elected into public office, the next thing is to ensure that all the promises, all the manifestos you put on board are actually put on ground to see that they are being implemented for the benefits of the masses. But in the long run, we realize we elected a desperate leader who is more concerned about the next election than addressing the current needs of the masses. So, because it's a change is the only thing that is constant. You cannot even stay you don't have to stay in a house that you built because the house is not serving you the purpose for which it was built. So the next thing is to see, shift ground, and perhaps, since life itself, since we're always in constant struggle for a better life, that's why when you feel at a particular point in time, the very place you are is not serving the very purpose for which you thought would serve. The next thing is for you to initiate a move and seek for a better ground. And that's the idea of the ADC. That's what brought about the idea of the ADC. I think this is just the background for now, except if you need clarity on other aspects.
But like you all asked, you just wonder that they suddenly realized this attributes of Bola Tinubu, given the background. Bola Tinubu, I'm thinking that Bola Tinubu came to Southern Kaduna at that time. He was part of one of the meetings. Yes, I believe if you think well.
No, he actually sent one of his strong ally.
Yes.
What's his name? This guy that was a former governor of, is it Ogun State?
Okay, now coming to that. Now, for Bola Tinubu was so significant in giving the necessary support for the alliance that Buhari was able to, after 3 trials, the 4th, he has been given up, and then he became president. And for 8 years, everything was going well, was rosy. So is it just all of a sudden that they have realized that Bola Tinubu has this attribute?
While you're about to answer that, let me just, because we don't really have much time. For me, part of what you're saying was it's kind of, should I use the word eye-opening or surprising? Because if the late President Muhammadu Buhari felt so much love from the people of Southern Kaduna, what was responsible then for the kind of, should I call it love-hate relationship that we found between the people, the same people of Southern Kaduna and the then governor of Kaduna State? Maybe you add those together to answer.
Okay, answering to what your colleague Bally said, in respect to, is it that it came as a surprise suddenly?
Obviously, yeah.
Having worked with Bola Tinubu and what have you,
years.
But
more than
definitely, and you know, I see him as a Machiavellian student of power, and a good student of what we call the 48 laws of power. That's who Bola Tinubu, and that you cannot take away from him, and I give that credit to him, being the smart politician that he always be. So
that aspect of the 48 laws, rely low.
Thank you. And never shy your myself, right? To even never let whosoever it is that is close to you to know the next move and the next intention. So that's what fine. So, but it's very glaring now, and I'm not saying it because I'm on the opposition side or whatever it is. Because if you go back to the initial, when it started in 2023, I was at the forefront of the Bola Tinubu campaign because I strongly believe that this is somebody who has gathered all the experience and all the arsenals that we bring on board to ensure that real governance is given to Nigerians. But as I said, he got it wrong because at the point in time, instead of concentrating on governance, he actually was thinking about whatever it is has to do the next election. politicking, and they abandon everything at the expense of the masses. And that is why today life is unbearable.
Or maybe
Because
some people will see say people have lost out. That's why you have
yeah,
seen
it's normal in politics
this.
for one to say, okay, because one have lost out and to come up with an argument. I'm writing a kind of in my only two way, or whatever it is, the journey that started with the APC and how we got to this point. I told people, I said, no, I don't belong to this category of politicians that you think maybe because I've lost out on whatever it is. If it were to be, maybe the Ubasani today that is the current governor, if anybody tells you about my relationship with you, it will shock you. In fact, I was supposed to be a spokesman of his campaign during that time, but I offered to work for the JAMU based on principle. That's what we represent. And I feel if somebody is coming on board to govern, he should have at least, do I call a blueprint of what he intends to achieve. So, with all apology to those who are not comfortable with our relationship with Malam Nasir El-Rufai, and I can say it that